Welcome back. It is 1509. It is the last year in the decade. Very exciting. In the last one, we did have Siobhan, who got married and had her first child. She's currently pregnant with her second. Lionel is now aged up into a child, and Cassandra wants to marry a hair lifer, but Gabriel said no. He also arranged a marriage for Tobias. So all of that is going on. And this year is actually the year that the king dies. And then Henry VIII becomes king and marries his brother's widow. We also have Eleanor and Cassandra's birthdays, so that's the part that I'm really worried about. So let's roll first for Eleanor. No 7 or 13. You can do it, Eleanor. Okay, she survived, and then we have to find out actually if she's going to get married, so she has to get higher than a 5. She did. How many kids? 6. Oops, I didn't mean to do that again. Okay, so Eleanor, put her here. 6. And then we have Cassandra Larkin, who needs to get or can't get a 3 or an 18, which is actually not bad considering our past young adult rolls. Ooh, but that was a little close. Okay, so they both survive. That's great. All right, let's hop into the game then. Alrighty, so here we are, and we are going to start just at home with all our Sims, catching up and reminding ourselves what is going on here. So we have Gabriel deciding to host a banquet. And I did want to talk about Gabriel for a second because I feel like I have portrayed him as the mean sim that he is, but that doesn't mean he's not trying. Like, I feel like maybe some of his attempts to manage the household are a bit clumsy, but that doesn't mean that he is not, like, he's not trying to ruin anybody's life or anything. He's just trying to, manage the family. And maybe he doesn't always make the right decisions, but he's brand new at this. He's still a teenager, so he might not be making the decisions Mortimer would make, but he is trying to, he noticed his brother isn't very good with the ladies, so he arranged a marriage for him that benefits the family and benefits the kingdom, and then Tobias can have a wife. So it's just kind of like one of those things where he's doing his best. He's not actually, he's not trying to hurt Tobias by doing this. He's trying to do what's best for the family. So anyway, we have a little banquet going on at our house. We, brought over all the food, and everybody's here, and Siobhan and her mother still aren't talking, but Siobhan still came, of course, because she loves her siblings. And so the fifth person that Gabriel is going to schmooze is actually going to be Princess Diana. And I'm sorry to the person who made her because I didn't actually look into her traits and stuff before I did that, and I didn't realize that she was a lesbian. So what I'm thinking for her, because she is evil and she hates children and all this stuff, I think that maybe, we know that she's here to potentially marry the Prince Henry. And honestly, I don't think that in royal families back then they cared very much about, the children's sexuality or anything. They were like, we need an alliance with this kingdom, so you're going to get married. It's not something that they considered for her at all. They, based on her biography, it just says like, hey, Diana, if you don't get married, then we're going to disown you and you're going to become a peasant. And she's like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I think that she would marry a man regardless, and that maybe she, would be a wife and to a man and have children and everything. And maybe she uses men in a way to get what she wants. She wants a nice, comfortable lifestyle, and she can, have a female lover or whatever, but that she would still get married to a man because she's a princess. And that's what princesses are supposed to do during this time period. She doesn't really have a choice. So anyway, I do have to change her sexuality in Create a Sim, at least so that we can have a romantic relationship there, so that we can, get things moving here. I do kind of envision her for Gabriel. I mean, I think that the two of them together, with him being mean and her being evil and hates children, and it's just going to be a dumpster fire, and I'm here for it. So that's why I made her number 5 in our list of 5 ladies that we need to, or not, I guess it didn't have to be ladies, but 5 people that we have to get in a romantic relationship with. So you can see here that I'm trying very hard, and then I realize that she actually is not interested in men. So, oops. But anyway, we're going to have to load up her family and all that stuff. Switch it over. But yeah, I think that she enjoys wielding power over people, and so I think that would extend to men, despite the fact that she's not really interested in them. She probably thinks that she can control them by, being a beautiful princess, and I don't blame her because she's right. So anyway, that's where we're at, and yeah, I have to change her thing here just because I want her to be able to actually have a romantic relationship. Otherwise, she's not going to be able to woohoo, and she's not going to be able to do any of those other things. So that's what we're going to do for her. And also, you know what? You guys convinced me. I kind of had a plan for Tobias, and I have changed it just a bit because I think you guys are right about him being gay. He's just been so uninterested and, not passionate at all about the ladies. So we're going to have a lot of... this is going to be the generation where everyone is not straight, and I love it. So... moving on, we are just, again, I have to switch back households. I couldn't figure out how to do her individually, do her create a sim individually, but oh well. And so now we're going to go back home and all of that. Let me actually think. Yeah, okay. So I have notes here about what I did. Honestly, I filmed this yesterday, so I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. But yes, we have a banquet. Oh, okay, so I wrote down that I think that she initially rejects him because of her situation with her family and with Henry, and how her parents want her to marry Henry instead. But she is, she doesn't know if she's going to marry him or not, but she feels like if she is, she's going to have to be careful because she doesn't want to kind of start a dalliance with someone else if she's going to end up being the queen of this country. So there is that. Anyway, so here we go to try again. I wanted her to be number 5. I want to continue doing his aspiration and working on his rake stuff and all of that. So I think that he'll be good there, and that he'll start to enjoy. I think Gabriel really does want a princess. I think that he would be super interested in that, and that he would see it as an elevation of status, which it would be because he is only a Viscount. Keep that in mind, is that he is not particularly high of status enough to marry a princess. And so that is why it's a little more complicated there. So he is going to flirt with her if my Sims ever move the way I want them to. Honestly, this video ended up being way too long. I didn't even get... this video right now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut it down as I'm doing the voiceover. But right now, the video is 41 minutes, and it's only 3 sim days. I never got to the last sim day, and I just quit because I was like, this has been going on for so long. I'm so tired. I want to stop playing this year now. So... that's what ended up happening. And so I didn't actually do everything that I wanted to do this year, but we can always push that stuff out to next year, which is totally fine. Okay, so now he's flirting with her. Here you go. And it's going pretty well. So that's going to finish this part of his aspiration where he has a romantic relationship with 5 Sims. And then after that, aspiration turns to you have to kiss 5 Sims, which is going to be fine because we didn't break up with any of the 5 Sims we're with, and then also woohoo in 3 different locations. So I think that that's going to be really interesting because if he woohoos in 3 different locations with a bunch of different Sims, then maybe we'll have an illegitimate child or something. That could be really interesting. So we'll go from there. Yeah, so see, kiss 5 Sims, but luckily kissing her hands works out. I was going to have everyone leave the room so he could actually kiss her, but he doesn't need to because kissing her hands counts, which is good. And then we're going to head out because the king is dying this year. So I did want to have Gabriel come and talk to the king and talk to Henry because, and this is just my rudimentary research, but it seems that the king really wanted Henry to marry Catherine of Aragon because of the relationship with her family and the whole situation of politics and treaties and advantages of marrying certain people. And so since it didn't work out with Arthur, he really wanted one of his sons to marry her and be married to her so that it was good for their kingdom. So he is really insisting on that. Henry seems wishy-washy about it. And so I say that as if they're both not named Henry. Henry the Prince doesn't really seem too into it, but, obviously King Henry also has to deal with the fact that the light royal family is here in order to try and get a marriage. And he wants to make sure that his son marries Catherine, and I forget how he died. I should look it up. Where did I put my phone? Here it is. I don't know. I'm on a computer. I don't know why I picked up my phone to look this up. But how did Henry VII die? Tuberculosis. Okay, so what I'm thinking, that's not really good. That's very contagious. So what I'm thinking is that he probably, has been ill for a while. The tuberculosis is starting to fill up his lungs, and he knows that his time is short. So so Gabriel came here because he knows, he has been close to the royal family. He's aware of their motivations, and so he wants to marry a princess because that would be great for him. And so he's going to talk to the king and talk to Henry and be like, well, they're really trying to get their daughter married off, and despite her reputation abroad, I'd be willing to marry her and, take her off your hands and make that problem moot for you. And so, but of course he's like, but, I of course would need something in return. And so they kind of promise him that if he's able to woo and convince her parents and marry Diana, that they will make him an earl. So he will get one more up in status. So we're going from, we were a baron, then a viscount, and now we're going to be an earl. So upon marriage, if he marries Diana, he will get to be an earl. So that's kind of the deal that he's working out with the king and with Henry, is that all of that will work out that way. So that is what's happening. And yeah, so I'm going to keep Diana as a lesbian, but I think that she's going to, do her duty and get married to a man and have children and stuff, but that doesn't mean that she's, not a lesbian. And I know that really sucks. During this time period, it was not very good. Life was not very good for people like her. I mean, imagine, even the royal family, nowadays, you don't really get to choose exactly what you want to do. You don't get to have that freedom of anything. And so the idea is that they are just, especially women and the royal family, especially during this time period, are just pawns for political alliances and all this other stuff. And so they don't really get the choice of, having to be able to marry for love or be able to do anything. And so that's the tough part. Anyway, so we're going to invite Sybil to the castle because we need to woohoo in 3 locations, and we're already here, so we might as well. So let's woohoo with her. We'll kiss her and woohoo with her. And this is, I I am so curious. Like, what's gonna happen? Are any of them gonna end up pregnant? Like, I'm so curious. And so that would definitely be an interesting turn of events if any of his lady loves ended up pregnant. And I think it's so funny because, again, I'm going to keep talking about Bridgerton, but I've been reading the books, and it's so interesting because when you think about it, um, that they keep talking about, what's proper, and I'm a gentleman, and all this stuff, and then it's like, dude, so far, not a single one of the Bridgertons has made it to marriage without at least kissing the person. Like, you weren't supposed to do that. That's not very gentlemanly or ladylike. Like, especially Anthony. Oh my gosh, he was such a jerk to Kate. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of glad they changed it in the show because they kissed, and then he was like, well, I'm not going to marry you. And it's like, Anthony, you are supposed to be a gentleman. She is a lady, and you just kissed her, and now you're going to act like a jerk and say you're not going to marry her even though you took her reputation or whatever. What a jerk. Anyway, so Gabriel is going to keep doing jewelry making, and everyone is going to just do their thing. Tobias is doing his schooling thing, and I honestly don't know how well it's going because I can't tell when he goes to school, and sometimes he goes to school, and I'm not sure if he's going every time he's supposed to because time works weird in my game. And I'm just trying to keep him on top of his homework and hope for the best. I don't know. I do not know how this is going, but we're just going to accept it. So there is that. And then, Gabriel is working on his jewelry making. Wow, my brain is not working. It's like I woke up and I started recording this, so that was my first mistake. Gabriel is working on his jewelry making, and actually what I am going to have him do, because I do want him to, he needs to woo Diana and her family and stuff, and so I'm thinking that I'll have him make her like a matching set of like, bracelet, earrings, necklace, and all that. Have him make her a jewelry set out of, precious materials and everything, and like mix up and like make it like, gold so that it's yellow like the Larkins, and then maybe like a red stone because she, right now her color is red and everything. So I think that would be really good. And then, yes, we still need to kiss several Sims, but we'll come back to that. So anyway, he's just doing his jewelry making thing as we wait for it to become an acceptable hour on Thursday, because today is actually going to be the day that the king passes on. So, the king is going to pass away, Henry VII of tuberculosis, and that will make Henry VIII the new king. So, and then he has to marry Catherine. So that's what we're trying to do today. And it was not easy, let me tell you. Because these Sims never want to do what I want them to do. Never, ever, ever. So, it's just something I have to deal with, I guess. But that's okay. So, we are going to kill the king. And then, I don't know, I chose pufferfish. I felt like it might be close. Which is really interesting because we know that Mortimer had died of a lung problem too. Maybe he had tuberculosis. I don't know. So we have just killed the king. The king is dead. Long live the next king, except he was a total jerk and nobody liked him and history remembers him very poorly. So anyway, we are going to invite everyone over to the church for the memorial service of the king. Obviously all of the nobility would be in attendance, that they would be focused on, the former king. That's a big to-do. They have a big grand funeral and all of that. So we're going to head to the church first, except then I realized that the church is not somewhere where I can host an event, so that's really annoying. And it's like a wedding venue, so I feel like I should be able to host events here, but that's okay. So everybody come inside and be sad. I'm also going to get Henry and Catherine's relationship up. Want to work on that. Oh, I forgot he was a teenager still. Oh well. I I should have aged him up, but I didn't. No wonder I couldn't have him use the wedding arch. That was my bad. Okay, so the king has passed on, and we are going to have these two get in a relationship. I want them to be, obviously they're going to be following Henry VII's plan for them and everything. I feel bad for Catherine. Like, she came here, she married Arthur. It was supposed to be like a good, oh, he's proposing. But yeah, it was supposed to be like, good for her. She was supposed to live a good life and everything. And instead, her husband dies. She has to convince everyone that they never consummated the marriage so that she can get married again. And then she has to marry Henry VIII, who's a total jerk. And then she has to, fail over and over and over again to have a son, even though there's a lot of pressure on her for that, which is so unfair. And then she ends up having him cast her aside, and she won't let go. She insists she's the queen until she dies of cancer. How awful of a life. It's just terrible. I feel so bad for her. So, yeah, I feel bad for her. She did not have a very good life at all. And anyway, we're headed over to the, what's it called? This ballroom, because for some reason that's what I have to do. And to have the coronation event. And I couldn't figure out how, it says give a speech, but none of the podiums work. So I'm kind of confused on that, but we'll just accept it and move on. So, yeah, so he is going to accept the crown and become King Henry VIII. And then we'll have him and Catherine get married. So yes, this is not so much part of our our story, but it's relevant. And also, Gabriel and Henry are close, and that actually is really helpful to him for look at the way he looks at that crown. He was so excited. But yeah, so I think that it's going to be interesting to have Henry and Gabriel and their relationship, even though they're kind of rivals, but I feel like they're kind of similar too. I think that they will probably compete with each other, and maybe Henry will be really mad when Gabriel's able to have a son and he isn't. So I think that is very interesting. So anyway, here they are. We'll just get them married and go from there. So they are going to get married, and she is now the queen. We'll make her the royal partner. So yeah, our first wife out of 6, I believe. So there we go for you. And yep, what a ceremony. They are now married, and everything is grand for them. So yes, Gabriel has made a deal now. He can get to be an earl if he marries Princess Diana. And honestly, that is also kind of a stretch, because I feel like a princess would not marry an earl. But I guess that's just the way it is. Diana has a bad reputation in her home country, and she is just she was kind of having trouble finding a husband. She was having trouble settling down. So I think that her brother would be like, you know what, just do something. Marry anyone. I don't think that he would be too worried about all of that. So that's what we're going to go with. I'm trying to call over Elaine so that he can now kiss and woohoo with her. So we'll find out if she's pregnant. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I don't even know who's pregnant, or if they're pregnant, or if anyone's, doing anything. I'm not aware. So there's only a 30% chance, but we've been burned by that before. So yeah, these two ladies could be pregnant with Gabriel's child. That is so wild to me. But it's also becoming a huge pain in the butt to call her over for some reason, and I don't know why this game hates me so much, but it just does. So anyway, moving on, we are going to call her here. We're going to force her here so that we can get her to be one of his woohoo partners. Very exciting, if I do say so myself. And yeah, I think it'll be good. So these poor ladies. And I feel bad too, because not only that, but they are, they're ladies. They're not, you know, courtesans or anything. They're ladies, and um, he is ruining their reputations by doing such a thing. So I don't know, but we're gonna just do our best here to ignore that fact, because Gabriel doesn't really care. He is having a great time, and that's all that matters to him. So he is going to just come around and go home now. He is going to head home. That is all we're really doing today. It's Thursday. The king has passed, and we have 2 out of our 3 woohoos done. So there's one more thing that I want to focus on, and that is Cassandra. So let's get home, and we will try and work on her stuff. If this, ever loads, because it's taken forever to load, let me tell you. Just moving on from there. Go. Okay, so he's home now, and we're gonna collect this stuff from the charging grid, and also our tree looks great. It's fully grown, and everything is awesome. So there's that. And it's starting to produce crystals, so that's really exciting as well. And I'm going to keep harvesting the tree for Gabriel to get the crystals and everything. So, and now, again, we're going to see our tree. We're going to harvest the tree. And we are going to, I mean, it's beautiful looking. I got to get a picture in front of this tree. But, yeah, so he is going to do that. And then he is going to, like I said, start making this jewelry for Diana. And so also the stone that we chose not only is red because her color is red right now, but also, she has red hair. And then also keep in mind that the crystal that we're using is one that like aids in romantic interactions and stuff. Obviously it's not charged, but we can charge it. And yeah, so it's one of those that aids in romantic interactions, and so I think that it'll be good. Anyway, so we are going to age up Cassandra. We're going to get her a birthday cake, and we are going to age her up because that's her thing. And it's her birthday. And then we want to talk about her relationship status. So let's first also age up Hair Lifer because, he's only 2 years younger than her, but I'll put that in the tree, 2 years younger. But I do need to age him up because I want to make sure that that they can like actually get married in the game. So anyway, I'm going to. It's still like 1 a.m, so we're not going to call him over just yet. We're going to have Cassandra's little tiny birthday party and just like be doing some stuff with it. And then we will start to talk about Cassandra. All right, so like I said, Gabriel is doing the jewelry he's making for Diana, and then we're going to have Cassandra blow out the candles as soon as the cake is ready so that she can be all ready for her future. So I do like to wrap up these stories by the time they become young adults, just because I want to be able to move them out and then keep moving on with other stuff. So anyway, also I love the idea. Oh shoot, who said it? Let me look it up. Let me look while we have Cassandra's birthday for a comment from someone who had a really okay. Story Girl 83, obviously, said that obviously Serdic didn't actually leave. He disappeared in a literal sense. He decided to take on magic and messed up a spell and is now invisible. I love that because he does keep showing up to events. So I still want him to be like a jerk. So what I'm thinking is that he probably, he had spent all his family's money and everything, and he was looking for an easy way out, and he turned to magic, and that's how this happened. So I kind of love that idea. Absolutely. So that is so funny, and I think we should go with that. But Anyway, Cassandra is indeed becoming a young adult. And then we're also going to age up Hair Lifer. So he is going to be the same age as her. And then we are going to all have some cake because that's the best part. And then we will invite him over. So I want to talk to him. So if you remember last time that we had Hair Lifer here, basically Gabriel was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. You're not going to marry my sister. You're not good enough for her. And so he kind of took that as a challenge and was like, okay, I'm going to make myself the kind of man that could marry her. And honestly, there is some other options for her, but they're either younger than her by a lot or, already with someone. So, basically, what we're saying is that if he can kind of show himself to be a reputable man who can take her and her life to higher positions and everything, that Gabriel will approve. So he had joined the Knights last time we talked to him, and he has officially been knighted and has some accolades now. He's been working very, very hard for the past year and a half, and so he has been working really hard to make himself the kind of person that she could marry. So now he is Sir Hairlifer Gamal, and he is come back and ready to ask for Cassandra's hand in marriage. So they are going to get engaged. Gabriel is like, okay, well, and I think that Gabriel also kind of feels a certain way because that was what Mortimer did. He became a knight. He worked his way up. And so I think Gabriel sees some of that in Hairlifer and is like, okay, well, if he can work his way up the same way my father did, then he will be able to, ow, I just hit my desk with my hand. Then he'll be able to take good care of Cassandra. And, like I said, Gabriel and Cassandra are really close, even though all the siblings are really close, even though they bicker so much, they're still really close. So even though they're always at each other's throats, they do care about each other. And even though Gabriel is mean, he is not evil. There's a differentiation between mean and evil. He is mean, but he wouldn't try and ruin her life or anything. And so I think that'll be interesting if we can marry Diana to see how an evil sim would ruin everybody's lives. I think that would be fun. So, anyway, I'm trying to check out the Gamal family because we do have to replace all of them in the family tree and kind of get going on that. So there is that. And then we are going to just add in his family, and they are going to be the color blue, actually. So that'll be a lot of fun to have them be the color blue and move on from there. So that's really exciting, and they're having a good time. We are going to add in all of his family, and I am so excited to be adding more colors to the save. It's definitely a good thing, so I think that it'll be good to have them be the color blue. We added in the color pink. I'm feeling good. Eleanor will be another color, of course, so I think it'll be exciting. Let's add in his family members here. His brothers and his younger sister. She actually became a teenager this year. So there's that. And we'll just finish up the wedding. Everyone is watching and having a good time, and it's lovely. It's also Easter, but I'm not really going to do Easter things. We're at the point in the video where I started to get tired. But we are going to invite over another sim. So let's have, yep, okay, so Hairlifer is going to move in with us for a hot second. So obviously he does not have, the resources or a family home or anything. He's not the eldest son, and so because of that, and because Gabriel has finally approved, I think that Gabriel would give them one of the units on our lot. So they are going to live in the big one because obviously they're going to have a lot of children. So they're going to be living in the larger unit and having a good time there. So that will be that. I'm just moving him in with us for a second so that we can, have him and Cassandra in the same household, and then we'll move them after. So there's that. And yeah, so anyway, we're going to get back to doing our thing. Tobias is working on his, schooling, and Gabriel is working on making jewelry for Diana. We have to start giving it to her. We can propose to her with the ring that we make, which I think will be really cool. And then we're going to rename her to Cassandra Gamal. So here she is, a married woman, very exciting for her. Let's get her woohooing so that she can have her first baby. Let me remind myself how many babies she is supposed to have, because I think it's quite a lot. So I'm excited. Both her and Isla are having babies together, and they're both having a lot of babies together. So I think that this is so fun. I think that it's really sweet because I think that the two girls are close. So anyway, so yeah, Cassandra has 8 baby tries. So, and then Isla has 9, and she's had 2 babies, but one of them passed. So she only has one. Oh no, she had 7. She had 7, and she had 2 babies, and one of them has passed. So she has 1 child and 5 tries left. So there's that. And then, yeah. So we're back home doing our at-home things. I was thinking about trying to do Easter stuff, and then I just kind of gave up because I was tired. And so I'm just going to, instead, we're going to have him do his homework. We're going to have them woohoo. Gabriel's making jewelry, and then we're going to age up Eleanor, who also has a birthday this year. So she's going to become a teenager. We're going to get to see what she looks like and what trait she rolls for, and I'm really excited about that. So I think that that'll be a really interesting thing. And then let me just see. Okay, I'll tell you while we're going through the motions here. So yeah, Eleanor had a birthday, Cassandra had a birthday, so did Hair Lifer. Okay, Serdic is becoming a young adult because, you know, he was the same age as Cassandra. Ingleaf, like I said, is becoming a teenager. Isla lost her baby, and the king has passed. Okay, so those are all of the, like, events for this year. And then I'm not going to show all of the everything because, like I said, I was getting tired. So we're just going to give Cassandra and her husband and Eleanor their makeovers so that we can then I'll do the rest of the makeovers off screen. But there only was really one, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, and then let's get Eleanor aged up. Yeah, and so next year looks like Isla's baby is becoming a toddler. Albert Landgrab, Odelgard Goth, and Siobhan's birthday is next year. Oh boy, that's Siobhan's birthday next year. And then also next year is obviously a new decade, so next video will be a recap. And then next year is the flu. The flu is next year, but it's only a 1 in 20 chance. I think we'll probably be okay, but I am a little worried, gotta be honest. So there's that, but we're just gonna try our best to not freak out. Also, I have to move someone out of Isla's house because, or no, I'll get rid of the baby and then I'll, Isla's house is full, which is the problem, really. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about that. I wonder who we could move out, but I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll kill some of the parents. Anyway, moving on. We are going to, like I said, do the makeovers really quick. We're going to get Cassandra in a beautiful blue color. I'm so excited for her. I think that she is just amazing and gorgeous, and I just love her so much. Like, she has definitely been one of my favorites. I know I say that about all my Sims. I really do, but, like, I love Cassandra. Although, I did notice that when we aged Hair Lifer up into a young adult, he actually got the evil trait when he did that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, what does that mean? What's that going to mean for Cassandra's future? I don't know. I don't know if we're actually going to play her future or maybe just like on the side some things will happen, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So anyway, yes, here she is in blue, like the gorgeous person that she is. Of course, we have a lot of changing of accessories and colors and stuff to do here. But yes, she is just so beautiful, and I'm so excited for her future and her many, many children. So that'll be really great. And then we'll put him in blue as well. I wonder what their children will look like. He is a handsome Sim. He really is. So. And then we also have to give Eleanor her makeover. I'm really excited. Eleanor is beautiful. And so what I'm thinking, Eleanor is hot-headed, right? And I think she wants to be a knight. So there is that as well. So we're going to kind of keep that in mind, that she would be more inclined towards, being a night. I do have a cool like lady night outfit that I'm going to put her in for her active wear. But yeah, here she is, and she's beautiful. Of course she is. Our Sims are always so beautiful. So I'm excited about that. Just going to give her some face details, and we'll change her hair. I'm thinking something shorter, so I think that that'll be really nice. I think that she is definitely going to give Siobhan and Gabriel some trouble because she is not going to be stereotypically ladylike, and I love that for her. But she is going to still like wear dresses and stuff, and so I was thinking maybe something like this, something like a little more simple, not something like she's not interested in like the big bustle and the big hips and everything, and she's just kind of trying to, you know, stay within the confines of what she's supposed to do, and then also at the same time be focused on her own ambitions. So I am excited about that for her. So here she is in all her glory for, you know, her future knighting plans. I'm sure that it'll be an interesting time for everyone. But yes, so I'm just going to put her in this cute little dress. She's not interested in a lot of that other stuff, but she'll, you know, put on a dress and look nice for, you know, family stuff. So, anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I had a lot of fun. I think all the Sims look great, and I'm scared for the flu. But first, we have a recap, so I'll catch you in the next one.